Hello, I'm Braden Huff, and this is my presentation about the Empress Irene. Beginning with her upbringing, Irene was born in Athens, Greece during the mid-8th century. As she grew up, she was a very beautiful young lady, so beautiful in fact that she caught the eye of Constantine V and won his beauty contest. This changed a lot for Irene as it set up an arranged marriage with Leo IV, who was next in line to rule over the Byzantine Empire. With her husband, Leo IV, Irene had a son who went by the name Constantine VI, who was named after Leo IV's father. Constantine VI was born in 771 AD, just 2 years after Leo IV and Irene got married. In this photo, in the bottom right corner, you can see Leo IV and Empress Irene on the right, and in the middle is their child, Constantine VI, just after birth. Over about the 12-year span where Leo IV and Irene were married, they ruled the Byzantine Empire very happily together, until in 780 AD, Leo IV died of sickness. This gave Irene her first taste of power as she became a regent for her son Constantine VI, who at the time was too young to rule, being only 9 years old. Instantly, Irene had a great feel for being in charge and took a lot more control than the typical female regents would at the time. For example, her earliest coins, as you can see in the bottom right corner, depict her as a co-ruler with her son, rather than a regent and her son being the ruler, which was very different than what was typical. Irene, as a regent, had a great impact over the Byzantine Empire as she was able to accomplish many things in her short time. For example, she enjoyed military success right away as she was able to subdue rebellions and had success over both the Arabs and the Slavs. On top of that, one of her most impressive feats was ending the iconoclasm in the Eastern Church. She had success with this and was able to restore many images of Christ and the saints. However, this would lead to future conflict for Irene down the road. As you can see in this picture to the right of my slide, it depicts Irene holding a holy text, just showing that religion and her belief was very important to her. As Constantine got older, he was ready to take the throne, which became rightfully his. However, Irene, after being in power for such a long time, became power hungry and believed the rule of Byzantium was still rightfully hers, despite how old her son had gotten. This led to Irene becoming threatened by her son as he got older, and eventually led to much conflict between the two. The conflict was so bad that Constantine VI eventually had to banish his own mother, Irene, from the court. This was important because Irene no longer had any power in the political system, which she had grown accustomed to for the past 9-10 years or so. In this picture to the right, it shows Constantine VI and Irene seemingly working together as a group, which no longer could be the case because of Irene's selfishness. However, despite her banishment from the court, it did not take Irene very long to come back into power in the Byzantine Empire. This is because in just 2 years, Constantine VI, her son, was struggling very much with his rule. He was losing popularity among the people and making the Byzantine Empire a much weaker power than it previously was when his mother was in charge. Because of this, he called Irene up for help, and together she agreed, and they ruled together for about 5 years or so. During this time, however, Irene was plotting her revenge, as she did not forget what her son did to her, as he took away all her political power and no longer let her rule for 2 years or so, which she felt like was rightfully hers. Eventually, after the 5 years, Irene did kill her son and regained the Byzantium Empire all to herself. She killed her son by gouging his eyeballs out, and through the impact, he eventually died a couple days later. This was impactful though, as it allowed Irene to become the first empress of the Byzantine Empire, which was the first time any woman had received that title. As Irene finally gained her power once and for all, she was able to focus on many issues that were very valuable to her, like politics, warfare, and religion. She knew that during this time she had to gain popularity among the people, considering how she went about gaining her power. So she attempted to gain popularity by reducing taxes among the citizens of the Byzantine Empire. On top of that, she also provided soup kitchens and accommodations for the poor and elderly to try and gain popularity, making it seem like what she did, killing her son, wasn't nearly as bad as it seemed to be. However, despite her proactive nature, trouble did lay ahead just because of her bad past and things she did do in the future. Despite working to gain popularity amongst the people of the Byzantine Empire, conflict did arise for Irene as she gained her leadership. This was because, to start, rebellion was in the air due to her past crimes, such as killing her own son, to gain full power of the empire. This was an issue because many people felt like it was the wrong way to go about gaining her power and thought that she was an unworthy leader of the empire. On top of that, Arabs were on the horizon and were attacking the Byzantine Empire so much that it had to be paid off to prevent further invasion. This caused a serious issue because it gave the Arabs power over the Byzantine Empire, as well as made the Byzantine Empire go into nearly bankruptcy. And then on top of that, she just had slight arrogant acts, such as launching coins into crowds in Constantinople on a chariot, which many people didn't take a liking to because they felt it was very immature, especially for their leader to be doing. In the bottom right, we have a picture showing the Arabs and the Byzantine Empire fighting, and it just shows the conflict between the two for many years, which eventually led the Byzantine Empire having to pay off the Arabs for further invasion, causing obviously serious issues. Eventually, however, because of all the conflicts Irene dealt with, an end did come. This kind of started when Irene attempted a marriage of alliance with the Franks king Charlemagne. The new approach to join the two families did meet fierce opposition, as many people of the Byzantine Empire felt like Irene shouldn't be marrying an almost barbaric king who was the leader of the Franks at the time. So, because of this, in 802 AD, court officials declared the empress surplus to requirements, and this then led to Irene being removed, exiled, and succeeded by Nikephoros I. In the bottom right corner is a picture of Nikephoros, who succeeded Irene and had to kind of rebuild where she hurt the Byzantine Empire. However, whether you are a fan of Irene or not, there's no denying that she did leave a legacy on not only the Byzantine Empire, but also our history today. To start, Irene today is remembered as a very controversial leader who did many different things to gain her power, not necessarily positive things, but more negative things to gain her power. However, she was very focused on maintaining religion, as seen as she ended the iconoclasm during her rule when she was a regent. Also, she was one of the most powerful females in Byzantium, which was very impactful at the time. And on top of that, she is one of the few females to rule not just the Byzantine Empire, but any empire during this time, all by herself. So overall, she did prove to be an inspiration to many Byzantium females, despite her controversial ways of being a leader. Thank you. And just for reference, here is my works cited page.